Okay, so now I'm going to do a couple of problems back in 10.7. So I'm going to go back to 10.7, and I'm going to do number 35 and 30 and 41. So 35. Okay, so number 35. It's a cost analysis problem. They give you a cost function. This cost function is 60,000 plus 300x. All right. And the first thing is it says to find the part A says, by the way, this is the total cost in dollars of manufacturing X auto body parts, okay? So X is the number of auto body parts, and C of X is the cost in dollars. So A says find the average cost per unit if 500 frames are produced. Okay, so first of all, for part A, they want the average cost per unit if 500 units produced. So the first thing we need to know is what is the average cost function? Well, the average cost function, we use that capital C bar, is equal to the cost function divided by the number of units. So for us, that is the 60,000 plus 300x over x. All right, so this will give us not the cost of selling X auto body parts. This is the average cost. So it's the total cost divided by how many units we made. So they want to know at 500, what would this be? So for part A, they want to know C bar of 500. So all we have to do is plug 500 in for X. Plus 300 times 500 all over X is 500. So I'm just going to grab my calculator real quick and do this. So 60,000 plus 300 times 500, and then divide that by 500. We get exactly 420. Now this is going to be dollars per unit, because this is the dollars, this is the cost on top. So that's dollars per, and this is the number of units. So our answer is going to be in dollars per unit. All right, so that's what we get. So if we sell 500 auto body parts, then the cost, the average cost that for us to do this is $420 per unit. Now the next question is to find the marginal average cost at a production level of 500 units. The marginal average cost. Okay, so the marginal average cost, part B, find the marginal, and you should be thinking derivative as soon as you see marginal average cost of, I'll just say 500 units, so of manufacturing and selling 500 units. So the definition of the marginal average cost is that it is the derivative of the average cost function. So remember, that means it's the derivative with respect to x of that average cost function, which we had earlier, that we just did previous to this was this, right? This was our average cost function, and the marginal average cost would be the derivative of this. So notice we have to take derivative of a quotient, and we just learned the quotient rule. So we should be able to look at f and g like that and do our quotient rule. So derivative of the top times the bottom minus derivative of the bottom times the top, all of the bottom squared. So what is the derivative of the top? Well, derivative of this is 0, plus derivative of this is just 300, and then times the bottom, which is x, then minus the derivative of the bottom, which is 1, times the top, which is 60,000 plus 300x, all over the bottom squared. Okay, so now let's just clean up. This is just 300x, and then we distribute a negative through here. So 300x minus 60,000 minus 300x, all over x squared. And notice that the 300x is canceled. And so all you're left with is negative 60,000 over x squared. Okay, so now the next step is to figure out what's happening at 500 units. So what is happening at 500 units means we need to take this marginal average cost function, and replace x with 500. So I'm going to go right here, I'm going to take negative 60,000 over 500, what's our x, squared. And I'll just do that on my calculator real quick. I get exactly negative 0.24. All right, let me just double check that there. This is number 35. Okay, so that's it. So what is this telling me? Go back to what we did on part A. On part A, we said that the average cost for the auto part, right? The average, if we manufacture and sell 500, the average cost for us to do that was, I forgot what it was. 420, what was it? Sorry, yeah, $420, okay? But at 500 units, that average cost is decreasing at a rate of this much, which means that we have an average cost decreasing at 24 cents. Okay, so we say that $0.24. So 24 cents per unit. So as we manufacture and sell more of these, our average cost is going down. Okay, our average cost is going down, which is good for us to know that our average cost isn't going up to sell and manufacture more. Okay, now let's see, 10.7. See what part C says. Use the results from part A and B to estimate the average cost per frame at 500 if 501 frames are produced. Okay, so this is what it was for 500. They're saying what happens at 501. So let's think about that. What we know is that if we graph our average cost function, that at 500 we have an average cost of $420. And then what we know is that this cost is going down. So however this graph looks, it should be going down here. And the slope of that line, is negative 0.24, which means that if I move over to 501, then my cost should come down, my average cost should come down by 24 cents. So for part C, to approximate the average cost at 501, this will be equal to, or should be approximately, the cost, I keep on doing that, sorry. The cost at 500, and then we're going to add to that whatever this is, which is negative 0.24. So this should be 420 and minus 0.24. So we're taking 24 cents off of that. The average cost should be approximately $419 and what is that, 76 cents per unit. Okay, so the marginal average cost kind of let us look into the future to see what would happen if we produced and sold one more auto body part. Okay, just going to verify that answer real quick. Yeah, okay, good. So now let's move on to the last one I'm going to do here, which is profit analysis, and it's from the sale of lawnmowers. This is number 41. Okay, so they give us a profit function. So the profit of selling X number of lawnmowers. 30x minus 0.03x squared minus 750, and x is between 0 and 1,000. Okay, so that's our profit function. And it says find the average profit per mower if 50 mowers are produced. So this is the same thing. We don't want to know the profit of selling 50 lawnmowers. We want to know the average profit per unit. So they want us to get for part A, they want us to get the average profit function, which is going to be the profit function divided by x. And so we take this 30x minus 0.03x squared minus 750, and we divide this thing by x. Now, that's going to be our average profit per unit, and they want to know this at 50 units. So we plug in 50, and when we plug 50 into that, we get 30 times 50 minus 0.03 times 50 squared minus 750. So just the top, when you plug in 50, is 675, and then over 50, you get $13.50. So our average profit per unit is $13.50 if we sell 50 lawnmowers. Okay, great. Now, so graphically, let me try and explain this again. Okay, if this is our average profit per unit, if we sell 50 units, then our price per unit that we're making money here, right? Our profit per unit is $13.50 per lawnmower. Okay, so that's some point on this graph. The question now is going to be, is our average profit going up or down? Let's see. Well, part B says find the marginal average profit. So part B, to find the marginal average profit, we need to take derivative of this. Okay, so to take the derivative of that means that we want to take the derivative with respect to this average profit function. And to do that derivative, I'm going to need to use a quotient rule again. So I'm going to take the top and bottom function, that's f, that's g. So the derivative of the top I'm going to do quickly is 30 minus, now we bring the 2 out here, okay? 2 comes out here, it's going to be negative 0.06x, and then derivative of a constant is 0. So that's the derivative of the top, times the bottom, minus the derivative of the bottom, which is 1, times the top, which is all that junk up there, 30x minus 0.03x squared minus 750, all over the bottom squared. Okay, now I could clean things up, okay? I could distribute through and distribute that through and get it all cleaned up. But let's just get down to the next question, which is, still in part B, is to find the average marginal, or the marginal average profit at 50 lawnmowers. So what that's going to do is it's going to tell us whether or not this graph is sloping up or down here. So we're going to look at the average profit, marginal average profit, and we're going to at 50 lawnmowers. So let's go ahead and plug 50 into this, and I'm going to save myself the trouble because I'm in a hurry right now to get this done. So that was number 41. Where is it? That's weird, they don't give them both. You should come up with 0.27. Okay, so plugging in 50 here, here, you should get 0.27. And it's a positive number, which means that my graph should be going up here like this because I'm getting a positive slope of the tangent line there. And so I'm going to say this, this means that it is increasing. My average profit per unit is increasing by 27 cents per unit. My average profit is increasing at 27 cents per unit. Now for part C, it says predict what would happen with 51 units. What would your average profit be at 51 units? Well, that should be the average profit I had at 50, which was $13.50, plus this marginal profit. So I need to add this much to this. So that's going to be $13.77. Should be approximately $13.77 per unit. Okay, believe that's it. Let me see if they even have, yeah, 1377. Okay, so this per unit. That's it. All right, we're all done.